It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a shit playthrough. Step two, step two, step two. Hi guys, I'm back. And no, I promised that I'd... Oh, I'm just going to restart this again because I haven't played this game in so long. Basically, I've been playing Injustice 2. I know I was in the middle of doing my Arkham expert playthrough, but... yeah, Injustice 2 got in the way. I don't like fighting games at all, but I'm just addicted to it. Like every time my girlfriend's not in the house or she's doing something, she's like, "I'm making tea." I'm like, "All right, I'll quickly go just clean my room," and I obviously go and play Injustice, mate. I'm not wanking. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So anyway, back to this. I know I promised last time I'd kind of do a best Joker story sort of thing, so I'm just going to cover some of the greatest stories involving the clown prince of crime, as I call him. You know, I'm a bit cool like that. Not to do with the movies or anything. I'm always kind of hit and miss on the Joker. Like, he always gets hyped up as the best Batman villain by far, but I don't know, it's like some of his stuff's a bit... yeah, it's not amazing, but then you've got some stories that are like... let's start off with what I think is one of the best Joker stories of all time. It's Death of the Family, not Death in the Family, although that is good. It's basically a Scott Snyder story in which, yeah, the Joker, he's realised Batman doesn't really... Batman, he's like, "Look, Batman, yeah, me and you, we're going to do this forever. We're soulmates. You complete me, I complete you. Without me, there is no you, and vice versa." And Batman sort of like, "Oh, you're a dickhead." And he's like, Joker's like, basically, all your family, like Robins and Batgirls and Batwomans and Alfreds and shit, they just get in the way of us. You know, I've tried to kill them to get rid of them because they just take up too much of your time, and it's just not fair on us. And you know, it's like we used to have a life and then the kids came along. It's that sort of thing. So it's an absolutely brilliant like premise, and the way it starts off, it's almost like a horror movie. Like, it was at the start of the New 52. No, sorry, it was in the middle of the New 52, but at the start of the New 52, the Joker cut his face off. Well, he got the doll maker to cut it off, and his face has just kind of been hanging in the GCPD on the wall for months and months and months and months. And then, you know, strange things start happening in Gotham. The rivers start running backwards. There's a lion cub born with 2 heads, and you know, there's just strange things are afoot. And then one night in the GCPD, the lights just go off, and people just start getting murdered, and it's just horrifying. It's a really great moment, and it's basically the return of the Joker. Like, it's so creepy, and it's done so well. And he takes his face back, and for the entire Death of the Family arc, Joker's kind of like stapled his face back on, but it's all hanging off. And I mean, you might have seen cosplays of it. It's one of the best Joker looks ever. He's just kind of in this creepy boiler suit with his face is half hanging off. And he returns. He's like, "Yeah, I need to break up the family." So he just puts Batman on a lot of tests, and the Man Who Laughs is the Joker's origin story, and it kind of, he does the reverse of things that happen in that. Like, there's during that storyline, he poisons someone in a room, and all the guards are like, basically the Joker comes on the news and says, "I'm gonna murder people 24 hours from now. This guy's gonna die." So obviously the police put a massive guard on him. They don't realise that the Joker's poisoned him 24 hours before, and he dies exactly when the Joker predicted. And they do a twist to that where he says the same thing. This guy, you know, this guy's going to die in 24 hours, and instead of that, he's actually poisoned all the guards that are on it. And it's just a really, like, in the entire book's like that, it's sort of taken things that are famous Joker canon and completely flipping them, and it's just so well done. 100% like recommend picking it up if you want a really good Joker story and you don't know where to start off. And basically he takes over Arkham Asylum, and Batman gets invited there. The Joker's kidnapped all of the family and he pretends to cut off all their faces, and when Batman gets there he's sort of like, look, you are the king here, I'm your court jester, Two-Face like your lord and your earl and stuff, and it's just a really well thought out book, like conceptually and in like delivery, and a great thing that throughout the book is the Joker says, he like says, look, I know who you are, and all of the sidekicks are shitting it like, look, what if he does know who you are, what are we gonna do? If the Joker has discovered your identity, then he's gonna go mental. And Batman's like, look, he doesn't know who I am, he doesn't know who I am, don't worry about it. And the entire book they're like you're like, how is Batman so sure that he doesn't know who he is? Like, he seems to, because some of the stuff he does, throughout the book, it sort of gives it away. And the Bat family, like your Robins, that sort of thing, are all like, look, he clearly does know who you are, why are you not worried? He's like, look mate, don't worry about it, he doesn't know who I am, I know the Joker, he doesn't know who I am. But it's really tense of like, well, maybe he does know who he is, because at one point he captures Alfred, and you're like, the lad must know, and it's so well done. And at the end, you find out that the Joker doesn't actually know who Batman is, and Batman knew that all along, because at one point when they'd had a couple of battles, you know, Batman was realizing like, oh, this guy's an absolute psychopath and I'm never gonna kill him, and he's gonna constantly taunt me forever. So he just thinks, I'm gonna go visit him in Arkham Asylum as Bruce Wayne. And Bruce Wayne goes up to the glass and sees the Joker in there, and he's standing there, you know, pretty much giving away that he's Batman, just to see how the Joker will react. And he says, look, the Joker just completely stared right through me, he didn't care who I was at all. It's just, I'm getting like goosebumps talking about it because of how good it is. It just sums up that the Joker does not care who Batman is. Batman is Batman to him. He could literally be anyone and it doesn't matter, because he realizes that whoever it is like, that's the mask. Like, Bruce Wayne is the mask. So he's not getting wrapped up in a false identity that he doesn't connect with. He knows who Batman is, and Batman is Batman. And it's just so well done. And then there's a sequel to it, which is called Batman Endgame, which is also by Scott Snyder. Basically, at the end of Death of the Family, Joker falls down a sort of a ravine, or like there's a massive cavern system under Arkham Asylum, and he falls off the edge of that. And everything's been alright in Gotham, and then all of a sudden Wonder Woman out of nowhere just appears and starts attacking Batman, and like, then the Justice League slowly start showing up, and they're all just like wanting to kill Batman. And it's a brilliant opening. Like, Batman has this this suit that is called the Justice Buster. I think, don't quote me, no, I think it is. I'm pretty confident in saying it's called the Justice Buster. And he's outfitted this to basically take down the Justice League. Like there's a bit where you just see a little flicker in the background, and the next thing you know, the Flash is on the ground covered in foam, because what's happened is the Justice Buster's computer is so fast that it actually can stick up to the Flash, and it automatically senses where he is if it sees that flicker, and shoots out foam to capture him. And it's just so like well done, such a good opening. It's a bit like this part in the game, really well done. I remember the first time I played this bit where you entered the Bat Cave on Arkham Asylum, and it was just like, holy shit, this Batman game is not messing around. I think this moment in the game was probably the moment that cemented it as the best Batman game of all time so far. But anyway, back to the Justice Buster. So yeah, Batman's like, what the hell are the Justice League doing? Like, why are they doing this? So he's taking down Aquaman, Wonder Woman, the Flash. I can't remember if he fights other people. I haven't read it for a couple of years, so this is all kind of memory based. But then Superman shows up, and Batman's like, what the hell is going on? And Superman, he starts chuckling. He starts bloody chuckling and laughing, and then he comes out with the Joker grin, and you're like, oh shit, the Joker has poisoned the Justice League. It's crazy. And Batman and Superman have this massive fight, and Batman like wins because, well, he doesn't win, but he's about to get killed, and Batman's actually got a false tooth placed in the back of his jaw. He cracks. It's sort of like a cyanide pill that spies used to have, but it's got kryptonite in it, and he gets that out, cracks it, spits it in Superman's face, and they both go down. I think it's called kryptonite gum, and that's a brilliant takedown. But the Joker in this storyline, it's pretty much a direct sequel to Death of the Family. He's like realised like Batman will never love me. I don't know why I ever thought he would. And the Joker's sort of leads everyone to believe that he's immortal. Like, what the hell have I do? See, this is what I'm do when I'm talking to you. I mess up on the game. I'm trying to do two things at once: give an excellent playthrough and give excellent commentary. So in Death of the Family, Joker was like, oh, I'll be hiding under your beds and you'll never see me coming, and you're like, oh yeah, he's mental. Anyway, it goes to Jim Gordon's house in this one, and the Joker is actually hiding under his bed, and there's so many little seeds planted, like a lot of the panels mirror each other from one book to the next, and it's so well done. And basically the Joker convinces everyone that he's actually been around forever. They find old photographs of Gotham from the 1800s, and he's in the background of them, and Batman's just like, I've got absolutely no idea like what the guy's doing, like how is he pulling all this off. And they have a massive, like, he realizes that, so there's a group called the Court of Owls who basically are immortal warriors, and Batman realizes like this guy's been using Dionysium, which is the substance that gives the Court of Owls the ability to live forever. So anyway, Joker has this massive parade. He infects the entire city with Joker gas, so everyone's like a zombie, and Gotham's just a horrific place to be. So there's a massive parade where Joker's lined up everything from the Batcave, because he breaks into the Batcave and steals all the stuff. He cuts Alfred's hand off, steals all the memorabilia, because obviously he knows that Batman's Bruce Wayne, and he does care all of a sudden now, because he just wants to take him out because he's like the scorned ex. And they just have like, and Batman has to team up with all his villains. Like he teams up with Poison Ivy, with Bane, to go on this attack, and he manages to get to the front of the parade, and he's just about to take the Joker down, but then the Joker beats him, and he's like, yeah, you little dickhead, I'm gonna kill you now. And he pulls his mask off, and it's Dick Grayson under the mask, and he realizes it's been a distraction all along, and Batman's actually, the real Batman's found the Dionysium, and he's going to destroy it. So he's going to use that to manufacture a cure to like take away the Joker's invincibility, because he's been immortal throughout this entire story. And it's just, it's absolutely incredible that the Joker and Batman face off underground, and they both die. And it's absolutely brilliant. Like, it's a great fight to the death that I think it just works as one of the best Joker stories ever. So definitely check that out. And then that basically started off the Jim Gordon as Batman arc that Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo did, that lasted the majority of a year. And even in that story, which is called Bloom, and I'll just check what the second part's called because I'm not too sure. It's just called Epilogue. That sounds a bit shit, doesn't it? Yeah, so it's look out for Bloom and Epilogue. But basically, Bruce Wayne's quit being Batman. He doesn't want to go back, and Joker's not, like, the Dionysium pool underground, even though they both died, healed them, and it also healed Joker's mind, and they both like have memories of, like, it's very subconscious memories of fighting each other, and they both go to the same bench every night, but they're normal people and they can't understand why they're drawn to this bench, and Batman and Joker as normal people have like a conversation about life, and it's so good. So definitely pick up, I tell you what, mate, just go pick up all of Scott Snyder's Batman run from the New 52. It's all absolutely brilliant. The worst part is volume 2, but apart from that, it's absolutely fantastic. So get it, yeah. It's mental that I can remember where all these Joker riddles are. Like, I'm a bit sad on her. So definitely pick them up. They're doing jokes in the riddle of the war of jokes and riddles at the moment in Rebirth, but it's just started. So I read the first issue, but I don't know too much about it to get fully into it. I'm just gonna take a sip of water, mate. Yeah, don't thumbs down the video. Fresh in water. Another great sort of one is the similarly titled Death in the Family, which is when Joker kills Jason Todd, the second Robin. So the Joker's escaped Arkham Asylum, you know, it's one of them, and he's got a nuclear weapon. He sells it to these terrorists, and then he runs off to, I think it's Iran. I want to say Iran. And Jason Todd, he's just being the new Robin, he goes to see his old family because his parents are dead, because you can't be a superhero unless your parents are dead. And he finds out that his mother, who he thought was his mother, wasn't his real mother all along. So he sort of goes on a bit of a globe trot to track down his real mother. He has 3 people that he thinks it could be. Naturally, it's the last person that he goes to. Anyway, he ends up going to this camp where the Joker is, and he finds his mother, and the Joker's worked with her in the past and wants her to basically work for him again, and he sees, Jason Todd sees the Joker and he's like, oh shit son, that's the Joker, yo, she with my mom. And the Joker is aware that Robin and Batman are there, Robin and Batman as they're famously known, so he gets basically Jason's mom to betray him, and set up a trap. And you know, Jason like really wants to build a relationship with his mother, but she just lures him into a trap to appease the Joker. And the Joker, you know, he's like, oh, thanks for doing that. Oh, by the way, I put a bomb in here, I'm gonna kill your son. Oh, you know what, I'm actually gonna kill you as well. So he ties up Jason's mother. He beats Jason pretty, like, the absolute shit out of Jason Todd with a crowbar, leaves him in a warehouse with a bomb. Jason wakes up. The nice lad, even though his mum betrayed him, he still wants to save her. And you think like, oh, they're gonna get out, they're gonna bloody get out. Nah, they don't get out. The bomb goes off. You're like, bloody hell. And there was actually a number at the time that people could call on whether Jason should live or die. There was like a cliffhanger comic, and the ringers, I wouldn't say like listeners, but the callers, they voted the lad should die. So the Joker ends up, killing him, and Batman arrives there too late, and it's sort of seen as Batman's like biggest failure. If you've ever seen like The Dark Knight Returns or just like a lot of comics, there's always like a Robin costume in a glass case, and that's Jason's uniform, and it kind of reminds Batman like, look, I've failed, this is my war on crime, I shouldn't bring anyone into it. But then that kind of backfires when Jason comes back as the Red Hood. But let's not talk about that. Another great Joker book is Joker, I think it's called, I want to say Blind Justice. I know, Devil's Advocate. I didn't even have to look there. It's bad because I own a paperback copy of the book and a hardcover copy of the book, because I just thought, why not? That's an absolutely great story. It's basically the Joker. Loads of people get killed from Joker poison, and Batman's like, yeah, the Joker's a dickhead, but I don't actually think he did this crime. I think he's been framed. And the whole story is about Batman getting Joker off death row, because he like, whilst he hates the cunt, he also thinks like, oh, if I don't do this, this guy's like wrongly accused of this murder and he didn't do it. So it just goes to show how just Batman is. And that's like a really good book, and eventually he proves that someone like managed to obtain Joker toxin and use it to kill their wife, and then killed a lot more people to kind of cover it up that he was just after the one person. And Joker, like, it's good because Joker then owes a life debt to Batman, which is like a really good twist on stuff, because who would want that? God, my throat's hurting so much tonight. I hope this doesn't hurt the listeners' ears. I'm starting to talk a little bit like Batman, but in a more high-pitched, bitchy manner. Anyway, those are like some great Joker stories. I don't want to cover all the great Joker stories because there's, I've got to do fucking 3 videos of these. So I'm just covering them ones at the moment. So let's kind of talk about Arkham Asylum. It is a really good Joker story. I don't know why it's I was going to say I don't know why it's not known as one of the best Batman things, but it is, isn't it? I mean, my favourite out of the 3 is probably Arkham City. Arkham Knight's really good. I would probably rate it Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum. I know some people say Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, but I think the mechanics of this have just aged a bit too much for me. And you don't have like the Batmobile, the map's really small. The combat isn't as good, and it's not as polished as it later goes on to be, but there are some great things in this. I don't think the story's as good either. Whilst it's sort of great to have like a one night in Arkham Asylum, it doesn't have like the twists that even like Arkham Origins had, so I'm a bit on it. So I'd love to hear like why, if there's anyone out there who Arkham Asylum is their favourite game, like why it is. To me, this game's sort of like Die Hard. You're in this one location, you're one man, and you've got to take down the villains whilst saving the hostages and shit. And it is an enjoyable game, but it's just not. I don't know what it is with me. Like, for some reason, the first game in any series, I'm always like, yeah, it's all right, but I know they can do better. Like God of War, I enjoyed God of War 1, but God of War 2 is my favourite game of all time. And I knew like the second one was gonna absolutely blow it away. Same with Dead Space. whilst I enjoyed Dead Space, to me it was like an 8 out of 10. And this Dead Space 2 was like a 10 out of 10 to me. It's absolutely perfect. The only game that I really like that's the first of the series is probably Alien Isolation, but it's not getting a sequel, is it? Which is a bit shit. So I'd really like to hear what your favourite Arkham game is, why it is. I mean, you can't get much better than City to me. It's a nice, tight, contained story. There's not really a dull moment. You feel like you're Batman. Just from the intro where you start off as Bruce Wayne, and then there's a really good sense of escalation. And like Arkham Knight could have had that, but you know, it was Jason Todd all along, wasn't it? And we all fucking knew it was. I mean, the first time I seen a trailer in like 2012 or whatever, I was like, yeah, that Arkham Knight lad, that's Jason Todd right there. And what was annoying was Rocksteady were like, oh, we've created a completely new character, and the fact that they said all that and they basically lied in order to pull off a twist that was already there. Like when Jason Todd come back as the Red Hood, the twist was he was the Red Hood. Like if Jason Todd comes back as the Arkham Knight and the twist is he's the Red Hood, like who was the Red? Like who was? It's like saying, oh, I'm Robin. Are you? No, I'm actually Nightwing. You know, it's two identities that it doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know why they sort of had the whole story around that. Also, you know, there's the Scarecrow, whilst a good villain, to me wasn't good enough to carry a game in the same way that the Joker was, and I think that's why they made the Joker such a big part of that game, because you basically, you know, the Scarecrow isn't that good, and Jason Todd's not that good of a villain either. Like Jason Todd was good when he was in the Red Hood, under the hood, but yeah, he's not that good in terms of like scales of Batman villain. So this is sort of like wrapping up my playthrough of Arkham Asylum. I was going to do the whole game, but then I realised that it would take so long, and there's not that much trivia in this compared to Arkham Knight and Arkham City. I mean, there is a lot of trivia, but it's not compared. And once I'm covering 3 games here, yeah, give me a break, bro. So I'll save these lads in here, because I don't know what it is with games. Whenever there's like a mission where it's like, I'll save these people, if ever I leave them, I think, oh shit, they're still there. I left them lads. They could have died. So I'll make sure they're all right. Yeah. So my recommendations are this week: pick up Death of the Family. Pick up Batman Endgame. Those two books are all you really need right now. And then once you get through them, yeah, go pick up Batman the Man Who Laughs, which is the Joker's origin story, which I probably should have talked about, but I might talk about that in the other ones. And then go pick up Batman Death in the Family, which is the death of Jason Todd. So yeah, you've got some homework there to do, don't you? Anyway, make sure you check out my other playthroughs. You know, you can watch them in any order, because I'm sure you've probably played through this game a million times. So yeah, just skip them. Just play them in any order, and check out my reviews at definition.co.uk. That's definition with 2 F's. I apologise for my voice pretty much being destroyed at this point. And yeah, I've got movie reviews on there, game reviews on there, comic reviews. I'm reading through all the Batman graphic novels at the moment from start to finish in chronological order, and ranking them from best to worst. So there's plenty of stuff for you there. So I've saved these guys. Take care, much love, good night.